Not yet.
Okay, we got recording. Okay, hi, this is Quisha, Latanya, Cynthia, and Abby.
Hi.
We're back again with a video, some therapeutic conversations about current events. Today, we're going to be talking about our own experiences throughout this time with like our debates that we've had with people, or conversations, not even necessarily debates, conversations we've had with people about protests going on now, the racism that's going on in our country, police brutality and racism against the Black people, and just different things that are going on at this time. So, who wants to start the conversation?
Well, I heard today on CNN that basically they were saying, someone was saying that basically it is hard to charge cops, charge them with anything when it comes to like killing people, hurting people. Basically, they were saying basically that it was almost, that's why the cops get away with so many things and they do so many things, because it is hard to basically like accuse them of doing anything. It's basically to charge them with killing people. It's hard to charge them with basically hurting other individuals. So that's why the police force has basically taken advantage of that type of system. That is basically what they're doing is basically they're, I guess, going along with everything they do. So it's hard for them to get accused of doing anything wrong.
But why would that be when they did something wrong? Like, don't no police handbook say kill unarmed people?
Mm-hmm.
It's to detain people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If they armed, you're trying. First of all, if somebody's armed, it says to try to disarm them.
Yes.
It doesn't say, oh, just go in for the kill, in the first time. So I don't understand why it would be so hard to charge someone when, especially when there's a lot of video footage of the situations that are happening, across the nation. I, for one, I'm really, y'all, I'm really tired of every day waking up and seeing, oh, this person was killed in this state, another Black man was killed in Atlanta, another Black man was killed in Florida. It's like, even with all the protests going on and all the riots and stuff, y'all still just in the midst of it all, y'all still killing unarmed Black people, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's almost like we're gonna do what we want to do no matter what happens. Kind of.
That's how I feel.
And it's crazy. One thing I want to talk about is, like, today I had a conversation on social media with a police officer who I know personally, and he is Black, and he made the statement that police aren't the problem in the Black neighborhood. The Black people are the problem. I was like, what? Like, you're a Black person that comes from a Black neighborhood. I understand you also are a police officer, but don't make blanket statements like that. So of course, something in me just wouldn't let me let it pass, slide past. So I just had to comment, like, he's like, Black people kill Black people. And I'm like, every race kills people.
Right.
Every race has murderers. Every race kills each other. Like, if we want to talk about other races, Jeffrey Dahmer was killing white people.
Yeah.
Like, all the Charles Manson, everybody that was in his group was white. Like, white people kill white people, Mexican people kill Mexican people, Puerto Rican, like, all races kill each other, and they kill other people too. Yes, I tell them, like, you see it more prevalent in the Black community, first of all, because you live there and you're from there, so that's what you see. Second of all, it's more newsworthy. Maybe they kill each other in more newsworthy ways, or maybe that's just the spin that the media wants to put on you. I'm not naive that inner city, Black people have more violent streaks or like more violent ways of showing things. I'm not naive by that, but that also comes from hundreds of years of oppression, hundreds of years of being pit against each other, trying to fight for the next dime, for the next dollar, because you're not given those chances. So I understand both sides of the coin, but what I'm not going to just sit here and stand for, especially people that are my Facebook friends and stuff, is for you to make this blanket statement. And I said, yeah, maybe you are a good cop. Maybe you're not a problem. Maybe you know a couple good cops that are not a problem, but the system as a whole is a problem. I myself, mother of 7, Christ-fearing woman, law-abiding citizen, respectful person, just had a horrible encounter with the police yesterday. My 2-year-old son he was at my brother-in-law's house. He happened to come out the front door and walk down the sidewalk alone. My husband was in there with him, and he didn't see him leave out or whatever. And the police came around the corner, and he was standing on the sidewalk. Now, he wasn't in the street, and there was a lot of kids playing, all my nieces and nephews and my kids playing around him, but he was standing there alone. So the police came up, grabbed him. My 19-year-old son came right after that and picked him up like, oh, I'm his brother. And the police officer, proceeded to curse at my son, asking why the F is his brother standing out here on the sidewalk by himself and this and that. Just go off. So then when I got informed, I called, some kind of way, I called my mother-in-law. She was like, oh, the police are on the corner. I go there. First of all, if you're a mother of a little baby, a little black baby boy, and they tell you the police has your child, I seen the police arrest a 6-year-old, okay? So I'm already like, what's going on? I'm over there. I'm concerned. I'm angry because my husband had my son. So I'm like, how could he get outside? So I go over there and I'm like, what's going on? I'm on the phone with my husband. He just starts cursing at me, telling me what the F is wrong with me. He's going to call DCFS on me and all that stuff. So I go to get my son because I'm like, oh, you're not going to talk to me like that because I'm just not that type of person. I'm very respectful, but you're not. I'm like, I don't care if you're a police officer. I don't care if you got a badge. I don't care what it is. You're not going to I'm like, you're very disrespectful. I'm not effing disrespecting you, just going off, cursing me out. So I ended up talking to another Latino police officer that was there to calm the situation. He's like, okay, he's 2-year-olds are escape artists. Your husband just, keep an eye on him, love your baby. He's like, congratulations. I know you're a good mom, all this stuff. The other police officer is still standing over there, cursing and screaming. I'm not even talking to him anymore. Cursing and screaming, saying all type of stuff about me. And so the police officer I was talking to, he's like, okay, just go take your baby in the house. And he's like, the situation is done. I walked away and the police officer is still standing there talking to my husband, screaming, cursing, all types of stuff. And I'm like, as a police officer, and if you're so concerned, because I have 3 kids, if you're so concerned, to me, it would have been more of an approach of compassion. Like, you guys had it, instead of why the F is your son out here? Like, so for someone to tell me that the police system is not the problem, and I just had this encounter, and that wasn't even that wasn't even any laws were broken. You threatened me with DCFS. You told me I couldn't pick up my baby. And I'm like, who are you talking to? All this stuff to me is an abuse of power because they feel like they can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's going to be no consequences.
And then if you would have picked up your baby, he probably would have put you in handcuffs.
Did the officer you were speaking to, did he say anything to the guy that was going off?
When I told him that his officer, I'm like, he's very disrespectful. He was like, yes. I'm like, he's rude. He's being belligerent. He was like, yes, I know. But he never said anything to him.
See, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
They never do. They just sit back and let people do what they do, and they never speak up. Never speak up for citizens. They never speak up for anyone else.
What was told to me was he was like, "Come on, we got another call. Let's go. This situation is over." That's once I wasn't even there.
So he had to literally try to bribe, in a way, the other guy away from a situation that could have easily been diffused by saying, "Okay, kid's parents are here. He's fine. Bye."
Exactly.
Real problems.
That's what it should have been. But that's just a way of me showing that the system is a problem. They have a mindset that they have this authority that they can wield in any kind of way to anybody, and nothing's going to be done for it.
Right.
I can say that I commend our mayor in Chicago, Lori Lightfoot. She has been firing police officers suspended for infractions. Anything that's called on a on a body cam, a video camera, she has been letting those police officers go because it's a corrupt system.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not only just the racism. It's the thought, the mentality of I have this power over you.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you guys see those officers on that video with Bobby Rush's office?
That were asleep?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Eating popcorn and everything. Chilling.
Drinking coffee, eating popcorn. And the lieutenant was also in there with them.
Mm-hmm.
But they was out there looting and they was in there hiding. They was cowards. Huh?
And I think they got fired.
All 13 of them?
I don't know. When I read something, I think it might have been under investigation, but she said, the mayor, that they would be terminated.
So Bobby Rush was the one who was saying too, like because they were trying to say, no, this was done a couple days after the looting was already done. We were just making sure nobody was going back to loot it. But Bobby Rush was like, no, this was when looting was happening down the street. So
yeah, the video had the time and the video had the date.
Hmm.
Everything. It had been over 5 hour period. They were still sitting in there eating and drinking and napping. 5 hours.
Yes, and we pay these people.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I have a big problem with that.
And she also said that Lightfoot said that she's gonna start holding the lieutenants responsible over their the police, whoever's in charge over the certain cops, he's holding them responsible. If they can't make the cops do their job, the lieutenants make their cops do the job, the lieutenant's gonna be fired also, because it was a lieutenant also in the office with them doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure he's probably fired too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you're the lieutenant, you're supposed to be a good example for them.
It just needs to be a national, clean out of corruption in the police system, period. Nationally, federally, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they feel like they.
Oh, I think she may have gone.
I think she's
feel as though they.
So they feel like they're like invincible.
Exemplary.
You wake up,
yeah,
another day, and another Black man who was just sleeping in his car at Wendy's. Now he's dead. He didn't have a weapon.
What I don't understand, okay, they shot him in the back. Why did you have to shoot him twice in the back?
Well, it was 3 shots fired.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
first of all, if you in your home shoot somebody in the back with your registered gun, you're going to get charged because they're going to be saying that person was fleeing your home. You had no reason to shoot them.
Right.
So if the person was fleeing, why did you shoot him?
Right, because you could have went to his house and got him later on that night.
His car was still there. All his stuff was still there. So you could have impounded the car and put a warrant out for his arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he would still be alive.
And he would still be alive. But the first thought you have is to shoot and kill him. I don't know if it was embarrassment because, it was 2 officers and he, outmanned them.
Mm-hmm. I think it was embarrassment.
It may have been embarrassment. And also is the fact that life didn't matter to you.
Mm-hmm.
They need, and I understand because I agree with like the defunding the police thing. I think people are interpreting it badly, but I think like if they are going to have deadly weapons like that, they need to be shown where to properly, and if it comes to it, not that I'm saying it's a good thing, but if it came to it, like where to properly shoot these people so that they're not dying. Because if you shoot somebody in the leg, they're going to stop going from anywhere. They're
right.
They're and if stop right away and
be able to run that fast.
Right.
Right, because they clearly shot the man in the back, and that was just wrong. And then they said that the taser is a non-lethal weapon. Okay, you know it's a non-lethal weapon, and he's still running, but you're gonna shoot him in the back.
See, I don't think that's fully true though, because didn't a man just die because he got tased to death?
Yes, you can die from a taser. You can get shot in the face and it can kill you. They can have it on you too long with too much voltage and it could kill you.
That's what they did.
You can die from a taser. You can die from a taser.
Right.
But you can definitely, you might not. You can definitely die from a bullet to any major organ in your body.
Oh yeah.
So I believe, the guy in the video, I forgot his name, the Rayshard, so I don't know. He's not completely innocent in the fact that, he did take the weapon and all this. He did take the weapon, the police officer's taser and all that stuff. That should have been done differently on his end too, but the police should have handled it differently as well. You are trained for these type of situations, or you're supposed to be trained for these type of situations.
They did not de-escalate it. They made it worse. And then they didn't even tell him what they was arresting him for.
Right. They're just like, oh, you're going to jail. Like, he just said, yeah, I think you've had too much to drink, and then started trying to cuff him. Like, you're supposed to read people their rights as you're trying to cuff them. You're supposed to be telling them you're under arrest for this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And the man was intoxicated and still sleepy. So he like, naturally he gonna react, you putting your hands on him, you haven't even told him why.
It's just really crazy that your first thought is, or your immediate second thought is to shoot and kill.
Well, why did they burn Wendy's down?
I don't know. Because that's where he was killed at. And Wendy's released the video. I don't know. I really don't know why they burnt Wendy's down. I think it's just a sign of anger. I don't know. Wendy's didn't do anything, but it was like how they have that saying, like a casualty of war? Because right now I feel like our country is in war. Like,
yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Well, the Wendy's employee called the police, but I know they feeling some kind of way about that and probably feel like it's their fault that person is dead.
Yeah, because they were the ones that caught. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I'm afraid to call the police on somebody because I don't want you to end up another hashtag, a name on the shirt or anything like that. I'm afraid to call the police on people.
Right.
Because you never know how it's gonna end.
And then you call the police on them, they're dead. Then the person's, they loved ones find out that you did it, and then next thing you know, somebody in your family hurt. Mm-hmm. And so it goes on and on and on.
It's just really crazy. I'm really ready for there to be a lasting change. It's really draining. This is draining.
Do you guys think that it will be soon? We would come to some type of agreement. We come to some type of unity soon. Do you think it's gonna be like?
He got killed. He just got killed on Friday. It was Friday, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was yesterday.
Before that, another man just got killed in Florida.
I mean,
wait, what happened to the man in Florida?
I don't know the exact story, but I know I read it on my little news feed. Another unarmed Black man killed in Florida.
This is ridiculous.
So I don't think, Tanya, that it's gonna be, next week we'll have no result.
You think we will live to see it? Is what I'm saying.
I don't know. If you think about like the civil rights movement and how long those protests lasted, how long the bus boycott lasted, how long the sit-ins lasted, how long all these things lasted. They lasted for months and months and days and weeks before any type of change was seen.
Yeah.
Well, just think about it. They, and I'm sure they thought in the beginning, like coronavirus, they thought it was all going to blow over and go away after a certain amount of time. Just like they thought, oh, they're going to protest for a couple days, maybe a week, and then it'll all be done. And it's like, this stuff doesn't just go away. There's been an uprise in the coronavirus again, and then people are still out there protesting. So,
And it's been 3 weeks.
yeah.
Going on 4, probably.
Personally, I don't think like our generation is going to see a lot of change, but I think our kids will.
Okay.
Or at least start to see it. But I think we also need to teach them to like keep fighting for that change and respect that change, because there's clearly older generations of people who didn't and still don't. So I think the change starts with us, but it's not going to happen with us.
With us, yeah.
Yeah, I can probably understand that. Agree with that. I just think we also have to teach them not to lose momentum, because you get tired. Like, you keep fighting the same fight. Sometimes you get tired, but you have to just think about it. I have to think about it. It could be any one of my sons. They're all Black.
That's why I was upset that my friend was telling me, well, the people that's getting shot are the people that choose not to follow a command, in so many words. I'm paraphrasing what he said. In other words, so they getting shot because they're not following directives. But that's not always the case. Sometimes, just like Abby said, the young man got shot and killed, and he followed every command.
Yeah,
they
and
still shot and killed him.
One man got shot because they told him, put your hands up in the car. Then it said, put your hands on the steering wheel. And when he moved his hands, he got shot. Give me your license, but don't move your hands. How?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then one, that therapist got shot. He never did let his hands down. They still shot him while he was laying on the ground with his hands up. I'm like, really?
Did you guys hear that story too about, he wasn't shot, but it was a boy, and he was, I don't know where he was driving to, but a cop like literally for 30 minutes stalked him until he pulled up to his grandmother's house. And I think he sat in his car for 5 minutes because there were all these cop cars then, and he was just so scared to get out of his car. And then his grandmother came out to like help him, because by that point when she came out, he was out of his car, his hands were in the air, he was listening to everything they were saying, like he was on the ground, and she came out to defend him. A 90-year-old woman came out to defend her grandson, and I don't remember how old.
I saw that.
You did see that?
Yeah, you gonna pull them over because she got a Black grandson.
You know why? I think the only reason he wasn't shot that day is because his grandmother stepped in and involved herself.
But if he would have made one wrong move, they'd have shot him. Shot and killed him.
Because he was following all their directions. And that officer had no reasonable suspicion to follow him. None. Right.
Because he was in the passenger seat with his and his grandmother was driving, right?
No, he was driving by himself, and she was in the house. So by the time he was outside of his car, like he pulled the car in the driveway. So they were at his grandmother's house.
Oh, this is a different one.
Oh yeah, this one, let me see. I'm trying to pull it up. I think it was in Texas. Midland, Texas. And supposedly he was being arrested for driving through a stop sign. I never in my life have ever known a single person to get arrested for driving through a stop sign, ever.
Well, look what happened to Sandra Bland. They said she didn't use her signal, and she wound up dead in the jail cell. Then they tried to say she hung herself. Well, why would she do that when she moved down there to get a new job?
Right.
Why would she kill herself? So it's just,
I don't, and it's sad to say, like, I don't know that fear. I've never had that fear, and I don't think I ever will have that fear because I'm not Black.
right.
For whatever reason, police, and I think even some like Black cops are guilty of like that biased perspective. Not all, some of them.
A lot of them are.
Working in the tattoo shop, a lot of our clients are, because of like the location we are, a lot of them are Black, and there are some who come in, and I think I mentioned this the last time we had this video, but like a lot of them like blindly support Donald Trump, but he's racist. So I kind of see it in like the same light, like Black cops supporting like police unions and whatever they're doing is just blindly following the leader.
And then some Black cops treat Black people worse than the white cops.
True.
Yeah, it's just a power struggle with I think with all of them. It's a power. Even the women cops are the same. The women Black cops are the same.
Oh, they the worst.
Yeah, I've been pulled over quite a few times, and people have told me, honey, I've talked to my mom, turn around and stop talking to her and pay attention to what I'm telling you. You're not smart with me. You know, I'm gonna take you in.
It's the complex, the power. It's the power. It goes to their heads, and it makes them think that they have some type of control over you, or some type of, like, they're the kings, rulers, or whatever, and you got the peasants, and we have to listen to their every command, and that's
right, like they're God.
Yeah, because you really work for us.
Yeah,
and God forbid if you go into a city or you go into a little town and you know their prejudice. God forbid you go into there and get stopped.
Yeah, I don't go.
Wait a minute. Did y'all hear about a guy just recently? It was over the weekend, was found hung.
I heard about a girl that was found hung on the street.
I was like,
a young boy, right?
Yeah, now they lynching us again.
They've been doing that, Cynthia. I
mean, like, we know, okay, George Floyd got that knee tactic. That's a new form of lynching, but I thought they had stopped with the lynching.
No, but I've seen a lot of news articles and a lot of different things on news outlets throughout the months and stuff about people being found hanging from trees, hanging from poles, hanging from different things. So it's crazy. And that ain't the police. Well, I don't know, but it ain't the police in uniform doing that.
Well, we don't know, because they was out there busting windows and looting. They was looting too. But I bet you nothing happened to them.
Well, I'm prayerful and hopeful that whatever needs to happen to them happens. Because it has to be some type of change in this system. Because even the incident I had yesterday, when I asked for a supervisor, I was like, call the supervisor out. I don't want to speak to this officer anymore. He got worse.
Oh, wow.
Was anyone recording the whole thing?
I didn't even have my phone with me. Oh, no, I had my phone with me. I was talking on the phone with my husband. I wasn't recording anything. I don't know if anybody else recorded anything, but their body cams was all rolling.
Oh, wow. Too bad you weren't recording it.
They need to like evaluate the one officer's mentality or something, because
my thing is, we have body
cam. Need to be watching this body cam footage. Like, don't just be recording it. Watch it and say, okay, on this day you did this. This is an infraction. Here you go.
Oh, wait a minute. You said this happened yesterday, right? Oh, wait, no, don't let that go, honey. I got the phone number that you can call. Don't let that slide.
I have a complaint against the police already with COPA.
No, this is what you gonna do. I know
give it to me after we get done recording.
Huh?
I said give it to me when we get done recording.
Okay, yeah, because you can still file a report. You have to call 311.
So anyone living in is it just the city limits or anywhere?
Yeah, in Illinois, yes, you call 311.
You have a police complaint, call 311 and put in your complaint. Remember to get badge names and numbers.
Mm-hmm.
What's their names and badge numbers and stuff of that nature.
Right. Did you notice a badge name or number?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't notice anything. I was very upset, and then I just stopped talking to him and started talking to the other officer. It was 2 other officers present. One officer never said anything the whole time.
What race, if you don't mind me asking, was the one
he was a black man.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was belligerent.
That's why I was saying it's not just racism. It's the whole system of superiority.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Cynthia, that man you were talking about who was hung, or they found hanging, he was hung in a tree right in front of City Hall.
Oh my God. I knew I had heard something like that.
And so I forgot. That's a statement. That's not a suicide.
Now, what state was that in?
If I have it still pulled up, I think it was Virginia. LA. It was in LA.
California.
Oh, that was in California?
Yeah, Los Angeles County.
Oh my goodness.
It's crazy times we're living in. My son, my 10-year-old son, he just finished e-learning for school last week, and their last project was they had to do a PowerPoint as a class about, and it was titled One Crazy Summer, and it was about the things that we haven't even technically hit the summer yet, but things that have happened thus far and going into the summer, like basically what do the kids think, it's going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, when I looked at the PowerPoint, it was, it was sad because they had all this stuff like, protest, rioting, death. They had all, like, my son's in 4th grade, and this is their reality.
Yeah.
That's something.
Young kids shouldn't have to experience this.
They shouldn't have to experience this, but like if it's going to happen, I think they need to be like guided and educated on it.
And they need to be aware.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
CNN did a thing with Sesame Street, and it was like they were explaining the protest to like kids. And I think Elmo was talking to his dad, I think, and it was like, why are the protesters sad? And Elmo's dad was explaining to Elmo like why the protesters are sad and why they're protesting. And I saw it on a video that was like, it included a Fox News reporter named Tucker Carlson. And he's just like, I referred to him on Facebook as an uncultured swine because he was pretty much saying that snippet that CNN did is trying to teach kids to like basically hate America. And I'm like, how do you get America out of teaching kids about why protesters are protesting? Oh yeah, it was a whole thing, like a whole video on there because he made like this big fuss about Sesame Street doing this thing with CNN about teaching they're protesting. But it's like they know, as long as this stuff is happening, they need to be educated on it and guided through it because they have no idea. Granted, we don't know, how to get through this, but I mean, we're also all adults, and it's different for us. The experience is different. Like this is their future. They have to deal with this after we're all gone.
Yeah, I told one of my son's music teacher before they ended school. She had a conversation with the students in her class, but she was giving her opinion about she didn't think that people should be rioting and all that stuff. And I politely told her, my son will not be a part of this conversation because I don't want you putting your opinion on him. His father and I will talk to him about, the riots and looting, what's going on in the world. And we'll guide him to see what we want him to know and how he feels and what he thinks, not your opinion, because she's I think she's like half white and Latino. And I'm like, you're not an African American person, you're not a Black person. You don't know what it's like to be a Black person in America. So please don't tell my son, what. I feel like people in authority need to realize that you have authority over people. So as a teacher, children listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying they shouldn't be rioting, this and that. And I listened to her talk before I, intervene on the thing. And I was like, nope, that conversation is not happening.
And you know what else teachers do? They try to tell you what type of field you can go in. Oh, well, you could be a bus driver, or you can go into construction. And I don't think that's their place either. They don't need to be doing that because you could be more than that. You could be whatever you want to be.
Whatever you want.
I think teachers need to understand that their words have power and their words hold weight for kids, and you can either scar kids for life or you can up. And if you think less of a kid and you make a statement to them, then they can subsequently think less of themselves as well. My husband still today tells me about a teacher that told him that he wasn't going to be anything.
See, and he still remember that.
And he still remembers that because, it was something that really, really stuck with him and hurt him from someone who he said was like one of his favorite teachers. It was like, oh, okay, you're not my favorite teacher anymore. Like, people in authority have to realize that their actions and their words hold weight and they make lasting impressions on anybody. And me as a mother and as a Black mother of Black children, I'm not letting anybody, and anybody can say what they want, I'm not letting anybody make my children feel a certain type of way.
I had a teacher to tell me that when my son was 4, she told me that he was possessed by the devil, and I wrote a 2-page, 3-page letter and reported her. How dare you? How do you know what my son is possessed with? Who are you?
Oh, yeah, that was a little bit much.
What make it so bad? She was Black.
Well, it's just, again, it's the power thing. Like, you just have to know. I'm just be honest. Sucky people come in all races.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm just shocked that, okay, because she was, I don't know, I think she felt like she had some authority to say that because it was a Christian school, but that still gives you no right to say, that he's possessed by anything.
I think that woman probably had other issues that she needed to address.
Yeah, exactly.
We just all have to be, as mothers and friends and family, advocates for one another.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Advocate for our friends. We have to advocate for each other and stand up for what's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So we have reached our time. Thank you for watching. We hope we gave you some type of encouragement, insight. Cynthia gave some information. If you have any police disputes that you want to report, call 311 in your local town and make sure to get a badge name and a badge number and your location when the incident happened, the time and the day. All right, report. Yes. And hopefully, you'll have a great outcome. All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.